What is the beef? Happiness is earned, not given. That's the video for this morning, or for today, or for tonight, or wherever you are located. Happiness is earned, not given. For so many of you, and myself included, we've gone through years of being distinctly unhappy. We've gone through years of being in a shit place mentally and being in a shit place physically. And what happens as a result of being in that place is you end up questioning so much within your life. So for example, for my own, what I was doing was when I was doing insanely long hours, when I was dealing with that stress and I was dealing with that pressure, I started trying to cope with that life with vices, so drink became a huge part of my life. Smoking weed became a huge part of my life. Generally just not taking care of myself became a huge part of my life, and they became a way to cope with the shit that I was dealing with. They became a way to cope with the shit I was dealing with. And I became so frustrated in my own life, and I blamed everything around me. I blamed work, I blamed the industry, I blamed my fucking parents, I blamed this and I blamed that. And none of it ever fixed anything. It just made the situation worse. And somewhere along the line, and I spoke about this before, but I had a moment of reckoning where I nearly couldn't do it anymore. I nearly couldn't do it anymore, and I was facing myself, and it's like, Cam, you have to fucking literally a conversation I had is like, you have to get your shit together. This isn't you. This isn't you at all. Jim, what's happening? Sam, Marty, Mark, all in. Fucking good to see you, chefs. And I had this moment of realization that it's like, you should not be operating like this. This is not your life. This is not you in the slightest. And that was a very, very tough pill to swallow, because I realized that I'd been full of shit for so long, that I was blaming all of these things. And I realized the only thing that caused me to get into this position was me. As hard as the job is to sustain a healthy life, and it definitely threw me off, I still made the decision to do all the things that I did. I made the decision to start drinking heavily. I made the decision to smoke. I made the decision, to eat shit and get rid of any kind of discipline that I had. And when I got rid of the discipline, everything just started sliding downhill. It's like your life descends into chaos. When you've got no structure and you've got no discipline in what you're doing on a daily basis, boom, it's done. And this is something that I've learned now, that I tell every chef that I coach. It's like, self-discipline is the reason that you're going to succeed and make a massive change in your life, and lack of self-discipline is the reason that your life is going to descend into the shit. And all of us have been at points where we've either been disciplined and things have been working for us, or we've been ill-disciplined and the wheels just start to fall off. So, but you got to understand that all of us want to get to a stage where we do have some work-life balance, where we do have something that we can connect to outside of work, or that switches us off. We've got an active, healthy lifestyle. And I think as you get older, you start to understand the importance of being active and healthy, especially when you got people who, family, friends, relationships, things where you're required to show up with a fucking decent headspace. You understand the importance of taking care of yourself. And I saw the absolute worst of what happens when you don't take care of yourself, and where your mind goes, and how negative you can get, and how victimized you can make yourself, and how many people you can blame, how many things you can blame. And at the end of the day, none of that fixes jack shit, because happiness is earned and we all want it. What you got to understand here is that your discipline will result in your freedom. And for all of you, myself included, the second I drop the ball on that is the second everything starts going pear-shaped. So think about it. And I'll give you an example. Wake up on a day and see what happens in a day where you woke up an hour earlier, you got up, you wrote a plan for the day, you did a small bit of meditation, whether you like that or not. Again, very, very effective. You did a bit of meditation, you did your exercise. After you did your exercise, you came home, you cleaned your house, and then you went into work. Compare how you would feel after doing that versus how you would feel waking up. Wake up as late as you possibly can, right? Wake up as late as you possibly can. Hit your snooze button for fucking 2 hours. Flick through your phone for another half an hour. Wake up, put your feet on the fucking floor, mope downstairs, no plan for the day. Don't eat breakfast, don't drink water, grab a coffee, grab a cigarette, and then float into work. And see what the difference is mentally. Happiness is earned, not given. Small decisions on a daily basis. Make your bed when you wake up. Something as small as making your bed. You might think I'm stupid for saying that. If you wake up and your bed is a fucking mess and your room is a mess and you got laundry on the floor, cool. Your life is already descending into that chaotic state. What happens if you woke up when your alarm went off, you made the bed, your laundry was put away, windows open, curtains open, and you went downstairs and you started taking action immediately? The difference is that when you start going on the attack and you start putting points on the board and you start winning and you start getting it done, Mr. Wilkinson, thank you very much. When you start getting it done, all of a sudden your brain starts to release serotonin. That's the feel-good hormone. That's the thing that fills you with that, oh Jesus, right, I feel fucking great right now. I feel great. And you walk into work and nothing can touch you. That all stems from discipline. Do you understand? That all stems from you taking action consistently day after day after day after day. All my job is, and all I seek to do within ChefFit, is to give chefs and show chefs how to implement structure. How to have structure to everything and how to plan and organize your life so you're working towards long-term goals, so you're giving yourself direction again, and so you're progressing and improving as a person physically and mentally. And what that all stems to your discipline. And if you can keep that discipline over time, all of a sudden discipline starts to become habit. It starts to become second nature. It starts to become ingrained in who you are. And when you get to that point, that's when you become a happy person. You need to build rock solid fucking habits out of things that make your life better. And up to this point, all of us have been through this, where to cope with the life that we've had, we build terrible habits to cope with it. And those terrible habits start to rule our life. So your biggest obstacle right now is, how do I replace the bad old habits that have caused me to get here in the first place, and how do I swap those habits and start to change them for good ones? And then how do I make those good ones a part of me through my rituals, through my routines, through my daily activities? That's what you got to think about, because once you get to that, then your happiness is earned. Ask any chef that I work with, ask any chef that I coach, anybody in there, in that group, the same thing goes. Those who have stuck it out and have put the fucking work in and have committed 110%, look at them 4, 5, 6 months later and they are completely different people, because they have replaced the negativity with the positivity. And the positivity then has just overflowed everything in their life. It's like a fucking ocean wave coming in and it's just swept over everything in their life, and now they've got to where they need to go and they're only improving from there. But the happiness starts to become who they are. Understand that. Happiness is earned, not given. You got to go out and get it. You got to go out and be disciplined. You got to take action. You got to push. You can't fucking sit down and expect it to be given to you. You've got to get on the attack. You've got to put points on the board. You've got to fucking aim to win the game. And if you aim to win the game and you take that action on a daily basis, all of a sudden, it's like putting credit in a bank. The more credit you put in, the less likely you're going to be broke tomorrow. Less likely you're going to be broke tomorrow. Boom, one day you're going to have a fucking rainy day and you've got all that good credit. Same thing here. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Like building up a credit score, boom, and eventually, it's absolutely viable and you can sustain it long term. So with that in mind, earn your happiness. Go out and get it. Discipline, discipline, discipline. With that in mind, chefs, I will chat to you all very soon. Stay safe.